Alright guys, here we are. We got an Acura TSX and the battery light is on. Now let's figure out why the battery light is on. So we're going to keep the car running and we're going to go look at the battery. So we're going to see how many volts this battery has right now. Car is running. So right now we're at 12 volts and that's good for the battery. But we know the battery is 100% charged because we just charged it up. But since the car is running, the alternator should be charging the battery. So it should be at about 14 volts. And since the alternator is not charging the battery, we know that the alternator is bad. You could also take your car to any AutoZone or O'Reilly's or auto part stores and they will test the alternator and battery for free. You could just show up with the car and they'll hook up their machine and tell you whether it's bad or good. We already had them double check what we thought and they confirmed our alternator is bad. So we're going to go ahead and replace this alternator and show you guys the process. Some signs you want to look out for when your alternator is going bad is that you'll start losing power to your electronic system. Sometimes the radio will turn off, sometimes the cluster won't work, or your lights start dimming. That's when you know you're almost out of charge, and a bad alternator can leave you stranded. So this right here is our alternator. It's belt driven and it charges the battery and powers the rest of the car's electronics. So we're going to go ahead and replace that. We're basically just going to remove this upper tube for the power steering, remove the belt, and just unhook the alternator and plug it back in. First thing you want to do whenever you're changing the alternator is to unhook the battery. This is a must. Make sure that you unhook your battery. Never work on an alternator without unhooking your battery first. You can just unplug the negative terminal, but just in case it might ground later, you never know. It's always a safekeeping to unplug both terminals. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove the belt. There's a 14 down there, so just put it on a wrench. I got an extender, and we're going to remove the belt. Just pull it towards you. You don't even got to remove the belt completely. Just get off the power steering pump and the alternator. I'm not going to remove it too much. I'm just going to tuck it away to the side. Now we're going to remove the upper power steering line. Just going to remove the clamp and wiggle it off the hose. Take a paper towel and wipe up the mess. Now we're going to unplug the wiring. All you got to do is push down on this tab, and it's a locking tab, and then pull out. Go ahead and pop off the little rubber mount. It is a 10mm, so just grab your 10 on and loosen it. Alright, so now we're going to have to remove the 3 12 bolts that hold it in. There's one there, and it's hard to see, but if you look, right there is one, right there, and the next one is right next to it. They're a little hard on the angle to see. I'm trying to get a different angle. Yeah, see, there's the other one. Right there. So all 3 of those bolts are 12mm, and I'm going to try and use swivel sockets to get to the bottom too. Alright guys, so I got the bottom left bolt loose by using the same belt wrench along with the 12. You could probably just use a breaker bar, and the way I got the bottom left bolt is I went behind this AC line. So let me show you. I dropped it in behind the AC line, twisted it, and got the bolt from this way. It's hard to see with the camera angle, but I got the bolt like that. Now the bottom on the right, I got with a swivel and the 12 right there. Once they're both broken loose, you could twist them by hand to pull them out. So there's one. And there's 2. Now the last one's the easiest, and it's just the one up top. Alright guys, to help us to remove the alternator, we're going to go ahead and move this power steering reservoir. As you see down here, there's a clip, and all you do is pretty much just yank on it up. And it should be able to come out of that little clip right there. See, there's the inserts. Let me focus. Right there, slides from there, slides up. Let's move this out of the way, tuck it out of the way, just so we can try and get better space for the alternator. We're gonna go ahead and move this up top, just to give us some better room to remove the alternator. A little bit of power steering will drip out, not too much. There we go. There's the old one versus the new one. Now let's install the new one. Now just line up the new alternator where the old one goes in. Now let's tighten everything down. Time to hook up the wiring. Remove that and plug everything back in. Take the power steering line, put it back on. Lamp it. Put the reservoir back on. There we go. Line up the belt and put it back on. There we go. Belt back on. Tight. Job is complete. Go ahead and hook your battery back up too. And just to check to make sure our alternator is working correctly, you see 14 volts. That means the alternator is charging our battery. So a lot of time once you start it up, you're going to be asked for a code for the radio or a code for the GPS. You see the codes are right here on the side of your glove. The 5-digit code is for the radio. The 4-digit code is for the GPS. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also check out our Instagram and TikTok. We post there as well.